Good morning, class 10A. This is Miss Seshu. The topic Organisms and their environment. So the references are in the course book page 268 to 69. In the last video, we have learned about ecology and energy flow. In the part of energy flow, we have learned the definitions like food chain, food web, producer, consumer, herbivore, carnivore, and also along with the trophic level. So, in the trophic levels, we have learned that here you can see this is the pyramid of numbers. Okay, in the trophic levels, we have learned that the number of organisms in the food chain is shown as a pyramid. So, each level in the pyramid is called a trophic level. So, this is one trophic level and this is the other trophic level. So, each trophic level we can see here clearly. So according to the number of the organisms, we can say here the total number of organisms at this level, this one. So here you can see more number of organisms, that means the plants, more number of plants you can see here than the snails and then the frogs and then the fox. So by looking at this picture, we can understand that the pyramids are shaped in different types on depending on the number of organisms in the pyramid. So here you can see another shape of the pyramid. Here you can say this is an inverted pyramid of numbers in a tree parasitic ecosystem. So here you can see the producer is only one, you can see here, the tree, and on this tree more number of birds that are called herbivores are feeding on the tree, on this tree. And these are the parasites. More number of parasites are depending on the herbivores. Okay. So here you can see here is one and here you can see more than one and you can see the number of consumers are more than the herbivores. So that is why this pyramid is in inverted shape. So by this we can say it is an inverted pyramid of numbers. So here you can see the producers. These are the primary producer is only one. The tree is only one, but although there is only one tree, it is a huge compared with the birds. This is the only one tree. Here you have the primary producer for the primary consumers. According to the number of the primary consumers, it is compared. Okay. So when compared to the secondary consumers, the primary consumers are less. So that is why the inverted pyramids are depends on the number of organisms in each trophic level. But if you take the mass of the organisms in each trophic level, instead of taking as a number of organisms, you will see as a pyramid of biomass. This is the pyramid of biomass. Here we have a tree and the caterpillars are feeding on it and the blue tit called birds feeding on the caterpillars and the finally sparrowhawk is feeding on the blue tit. Here you can see if you now we are taking as a mass of the organism. So when compared to the mass of the organism, the tree is very large when compared to the primary consumers and then compared to the secondary consumers then the tertiary consumers. Okay. So depending on the mass, the pyramid of biomass is plant. So the pyramid of biomass will gives you a much better idea of the actual quantity of the animal or plant material at each trophic levels. So here you can see two types of pyramids like this you can compare. This is the upright pyramid of biomass in a terrestrial ecosystem, and here you can see for the inverted pyramid in an aquatic ecosystem. So these are the producers. Here you can see the mass of the organisms here. Okay, this side the mass, here you can see the organisms. Okay, so the producers are having more mass than the herbivores and primary carnivores and top carnivores. Okay, so but in the inverted pyramid you can see the producers are having less mass than the herbivores and carnivores. Okay, so here you have another example of a pyramid of biomass. Here you can see the food chain, pyramid of biomass, trophic level. So these are the producers that are nothing but the plants, and the primary consumer, secondary consumer, finally tertiary consumers. According to the mass of the organism, you can compare here in the food chain and as well as in the trophic levels. So in every food chain, as we are looking, we are understanding that one organism is feeding on the other organism to get energy and to live their lives. So understanding how energy is passed along a food chain can be useful in agriculture. So this is the energy pyramid. We can see here, these are the sources getting from the sun's energy. This is the energy taken by the primary producers, and finally according to each trophic level they are taking energy from other organisms, and when they are taking the energy as well as they are losing the energy also. So here you can see energy lost as heat, and when these all organisms when they finish their lives, these all taken by the decomposers. That means these are the recycling nutrients. So every living thing on the earth needs to lead its life by taking energy from the food they are taking. For example, lion is feeding on the other animals like meat. For same like that, if we take a horse is feeding on only grass. But we, the human beings, are feeding on several different trophic levels. That means more varieties of foods we are taking. Vegetables we are taking, fruits we are taking, and also meat, fish. Okay, so like this, we are taking more varieties of foods. Why don't we feed on only one type of food? Anybody answer? Okay, let's talk about our staple food. What is our staple food? Like wheat, rice, and potatoes. These all are coming from the primary producers that are plants. So like this, what all the food we are taking, we need to get some energy. So here you can see the producers, primary consumers, secondary consumers, tertiary consumers. Okay. So 90% of energy lost as heat and in undigested materials. The food which we are taking, after digestion, it will be absorbed by the body as an energy. But most of the energy is losing as a heat and also in the undigested materials. Only 10% of energy available to the organisms at the next level to make new biomass. Okay, so by this we all came to know that here in the pyramid, energy pyramid, if you see, more energy is taken by the primary producers. These are the primary producers means what? Nothing but plants. So why don't we take food only by the plants? Why don't we feed on the plants? Why don't we eat grass? Because one thing that we have to think, why we are not getting 100% of energy as in the producers, because the cellulite which is present in the grass, it cannot be digested by the human beings. That means we cannot release the energy from it. Understand? We cannot digest the cellulose that is present in the grass, so that we cannot release the energy from the grass. But the cattle can do this one. They turn the energy in cellulose into the energy in protein and fat, which can digest by themselves. However, there are many plant products which we can eat, and also that plants are containing more protein content also. For example, soya bean yield a large amount of protein much more efficiently and cheaply than cattle or other animals. But a change towards vegetarianism would enable more food to be produced on the earth. But if this is possible only if we choose the right crops to be done in the agriculture. So, by this, I hope you have understood how energy is passed along a food chain, okay, in the lives. So, that's all for today. Have a good day. Thank you.